Welcome along, everyone. Welcome to Word Tuner at Home with me, Paul Finlay. In the shed today, I have a piece of branch wood. I think the timber is beech. There's a nice bit of spalting in it, and we're just going to round it the bottom over here so that I can get a tenon on it, and we can get it reversed, and we can get some wood out from the inside. So we're nearly actually down to the round here. Just going to stop it in a second to see how far we've progressed, and still quite a bit of timber to take off this piece. So okay, we're almost down to removing all the bark from the outside. Just getting the final shape on it. I think there's still the two flat ends on the piece. We'll stop it here in a wee minute and check to see if I've got all the flat ends off. It's quite dry, this piece of timber. Okay, we have one wee spot there you can just see with some bark residue on it. So we're just going to continue to shape this round, get our shape we want, and we will tidy the tenon up and do a bit of texturing to the outside. Okay, I think that's the final shape now. We're just going to have a look at it, and we'll do some texturing to the outside. As I said, I'm going to use the Mini Proxxon wee cutter here with like a chainsaw blade in it. This is the first time using it, and it removes timber quite well. I say that usually because it would take some timber if you weren't too careful. So I'm just putting lines in this, not going too deep, and they don't have to be uniform. Stagger them as best you can. You don't want a random looking or precise looking textured pattern to it. You want it to be random looking, and there will be bits you have to go back on. The idea of this particular type of texture is not to leave too many flat bits in between your cuts. So I'm just filling in round the bottom here roughly, and right, so I'm just going to run sandpaper over this and take any sharp lines from it. Just a quick sand. I think that's a piece of 120 I'm using. Doesn't need to be perfect because we're going to paint this. So from what I see here, it looks okay, and we're going to spray this now with the Abenison lacquer. Abenison lacquer, I should say. Just protecting the chuck so I don't paint it black. Doesn't have to be a nice lacquer. It can be black paint, or it could be ordinary black acrylic, or gesso, or anything like that there. So I'm just spraying this and filling all the wee grooves and stuff. Make sure you get them all, because you're going one way towards the piece with a spray, so you'll need to spin it round and make sure you get all the different angles that it's on. Make sure it's covered. Now you could decide here that the black's just enough. You can let it be at that, and just let it dry and finish taking the inside of your bowl out. Okay, the piece has had a wee while dry. It's quite warm in the shade because the sun's out. So we're just cleaning the bottom of the foot up. We'll be leaving the bottom of the bowl just natural timber. So we're just going to clean the tenon up here. Okay, that's that done. So we're just going to rub some of these embellishing waxes over the top of this. You don't have to be too fussy about it. Just apply plenty of it. And not purposely putting it down into the grooves. I'm just going over top surfaces. You can see that it's picking up on the flat surfaces that I sanded. So that's enough on that. And I've one of these wee nylon wheels here, and this will just help move the wax around. In fact, it does a very good job. I'm just going to stop and have a look at this to see if it needs any more, and just checking the lid. I had sitting. It looked a bit big for it, but I'm just getting or cut off the edge of this. Because when you look at it, where the cuts come up and meet the top of the wood, it sort of stops there, and then that gives you a flat transition into the lid. If you done it without that, you would have the lid in with the bits around it missing, where the grooves, where the wee grinder has grinded it away. I'm just going to refine the bevel with a screw here. Make sure it's nice and flat, and just making my wee insert for the lid to sit on. Doesn't have to be very deep. I reckon about 1/4 inch is plenty. And just taking it on down a wee bit past the lip, so my gouge can go straight down into it. So we're just taking timber away. I've got my wee depth gauge. Make sure I don't make it a hollow form. Big one through the bottom. So I've got my big round nose scraper here, and you want to make sure when you're using a scraper, if it's not negative rake, you raise the tool rest. You want to be above center. So just refining the shape of the bowl on the inside. You can see nice fine shavings coming off. Okay, we've finished the inside of that. Time for a bit of sanding now. We'll just start off with 120 grit and go through the grits and sand the inside of this. I'm not going to bore you with all the sanding of it. It's pretty boring to watch. So just finished the sanding. I'll sand the rim of that, and you can just see it at the top of it now. I've got that wee bit of timber showing at the top where I beveled that up. I wanted that sort of wee sort of transition into the lid, so it's not just coming straight from the outside texture in. It has that wee lip around it. So we're going to put some sand sealer on it. Give it a quick wee spray. And we'll let that dry. And we'll apply some Yorkshire Crit and some crystalline wax. Okay, we're just applying some wax to the inside and that wee bit of the rim, and we'll give it a wee buff up. So that's the end finished. Next will be the lid, and we'll get the measurement taken off for inside size of that, and we can make a lid fit that opening. Okay, I'm just applying a piece of timber to make a jam chuck to fit this lid. Well, it's not even a lid, it's a piece of timber that it's was meant to be a lid and was never finished. So I know I need some way of holding it. So I came up with this using my small record mini chuck. There's a recess for it to be held in the jaws, same as what you can see in the front here. So I'm making the outside line where I want to take some timber away and make a jam chuck for to hold this wee piece, and that is finish. Well, not finish. We'll need to size it to make it fit our wee bowl. So here you can see me trying to fit it in, and look at that, first time. So that'll hold that. All we need is take some timber away from the outer lip of this. You can see a wee recess there. So that's obviously too big for our wee bowl. So I'm measuring with a pair of calipers the size of the opening. We'll transfer that onto this piece. And initially there's not an awful lot in it, so a wee small cut will probably do it. We're just going to use a skew with a point just to take some of that timber away. We want to be gentle with this because it's only being held in the jam chuck. And we don't need to take an awful lot away, it's just millimeters, I think. I'm going to try the fit. Let's see if it works. No, it still needs a wee bit more of it, but we're close. And it's best to take your time doing this, because if you take too much off and then you have to recut the groove, and that means reducing the thickness of the timber. This is the wee lid I had sitting about, and just so happened to be the right size and for this wee bowl. So still refining the shape. It's better to just creep up on the size than take too much off at the start. Now, because this is on the jam chuck, this has really been turned in a previous stage, and now it's not. You can see where the skew chisel has marked more the inside, and it's not round now, so I'll have to fix that. Okay, we've changed positions, we've turned it round, and now I'm working on the inside recess. We'll try and fit the lid through this. It's easier to do it on the bowl than do it on the actual lid, because there's not a lot there to hold it with. So we're only taking millimeters, if that. Okay, we'll put the piece back on the lathe. We'll just remove the normal piece of timber to see if it'll fit now. And it does. Hooray! Yeah. So that's a nice, neat. It's not too tight. It's just a nice wee fit on it. We just need to screw the surface of the underneath of the lid up and sand it and finish it, and that'll be the inside done. Okay, we're fitting the wee bowl into the chuck. We have our lid fitted as well to the oh, it fell off. So I need to take a wee bit of timber off the outside diameter and clean the face of that up. You can see there's a bit torn out timber. It was never finished. So I'm just bringing the tailstock up to hold it while I remove some of the timber. Here I'm just applying a wee bit of masking tape to hold the lid to the bowl while I finish that wee bit on the top. So that center hole has marked my center for me, and all I need to do is just blend that into the rest of the piece, and then I can drill my hole for the wee button to be glued into, and that'll be my wee finger hold for lifting it on and off. So we'll take the tape off, and we'll give the top of that a nice bit of sanding, and then we take the sand sealer, Yorkshire grit, and we take just a make crystalline wax to finish that. Okay, I've skipped through most of the boring stuff like the sanding. We're just finishing off with the Yorkshire grit, and the lid's made out of American cherry. I thought I'd just use a different contrasting wood for the lid. Okay, we're drilling the wee hole for the wee finger hold that went to. I'm just using a 1/4 inch Forstner bit. No, let's pull it out. So you don't want to go too deep because you could very easily go through the other side and then you have a hole. Say they're making a new lid or make some sort of a feature underneath the lid by adding another piece of timber. I've done that before and it's a good way of fixing a problem. Like just a wee piece of wood to stick underneath it. You make a wee design on it and make it part of the piece, and nobody will know, only me and you. So we're just checking the fit again, and that looks okay. So all we have to do now is try and get the lid out. I tried using the forcer bit in here again to see if it'll grab it and pull it out. It's not that tight, but the the two joins together are very fine, and there's nowhere to grab it because of the bevel on the piece. I end up, I'm trying to bait that out now. I end up using the Stanley knife point just to grab the end. You just need to be careful too when you're doing that because you could just mark the timber. So do it where you think it'll be easily taken off. Try not to bend it too much and force it in. It'll come off no problem, as you've seen. Didn't need much of a lever to come off. It's just there's no way of grabbing it. Okie dokie. We're just remounting the piece. We're using that wee recess on the top of the bowl to hold the chuck in the chuck. And we bring a tailstock up and use our center hole. Make sure you get the piece centered. That's why you should always make a center hole on your piece, and then you got a true center to go back to when it comes to doing it like this. You can see it's nice and true, and it should be fairly easy to turn the foot away. So that's what I'm going to do here. We'll just remove that timber. We'll sand that up, and that'll be that part finished. And it'll be on to the next piece, which will be the wee finger button for put into the lid. So as you can see, working away at that, and there's not much really to see. We're just removing timber. Okay, we've removed all the foot. We're just going to give it a quick sand and a wee taste of sand and sealer. I think there's just a wee bit of a blemish there where the center hole was. I'm going to need to take a wee bit of timber off that. Doesn't need a lot, it's just didn't actually take enough off it to remove that wee void. That looks better now. So that just needs sanding and just a finish put on it. Okay, we're just going over it again with the embellishing wax, just to bring the colour back up again. And we'll use our wee nylon wheel thing on the end of the drill just to move the wax around. We don't want it gathering up and inside the grooves. So that's what I'm doing here, just to give it a wee polish. This will polish it up too as well. So the way I'm going to finish that will be just a spray of clear lacquer over the top of that. It'll probably need maybe 2 to 3 coats depending. Try not to apply too heavy of a coat to start, or you'll find the lacquer pooling inside the grooves, just sitting there, and it's just like a run. It won't sort of disappear. It doesn't look very nice, so put a thin coat on and let it dry, and then if it needs an oil coat, put it on. So I'm just initially spraying that with a nice light coat, making sure I've got all the angles covered. Okay, we're just using the spindle roughing gouge just to bring that piece of timber down to the round, and we'll put a nice wee finger button for to put it in the top of our lid. Okay, here I'm just checking the size of the end of that so it fits into the lid, and then I can finish the wee button off. It's cleaning the bottom up so it's got a nice flat bottom for to glue it in. Just check the size again. There's not an awful lot of timber on the end of this, because I already had that lid cut for something else and I didn't use it, so just not want that. Just use what you can lay your hands on. So you can see the wee tenon on that is very, very small. So we're just refining the shape of our finger holes, and we'll sand that and cut it off and fit it into the lid. There guys, finished piece. So thanks very much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Nice wee box with lid. Bye.